Hey guys, Martin the Martian here with a review for Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. I'll let you know what I liked about this movie, I'll let you know what I didn't like about this movie, and I'll give you my overall thoughts, like always. Before I start on this review, let me give you guys a few tips. Don't pay attention to like Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb or any of those big rating sites because they're all just ratings. Honestly, this movie is getting bashed harder than it should. It's so much hate for this movie. I don't get it. It it's a good movie. I'm gonna tell you why there are some things that I can see, but still, it doesn't deserve like a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, starting off with the good into this movie, I love the visuals in this movie, the cinematography, the way things looked, the way things planned out, the action in this movie. It was all stunning. The beginning in specific too. But a lot of this movie, for those people that are like bigger into the comics than the average moviegoer, they could have the impression, and I had that too, that this movie is inspired by The Dark Knight Returns, which is a comic. And it is, but visually. The story plot, it's not, so don't feel like you're getting the same thing. Just a few things are similar, like the bat suit and a few shots in the movie are like the same thing as in the comics, but they take that from inspiration because they look beautiful. Okay, this movie had a really good casting coming for it, except for one, which I'll talk about in a minute in the bad section. I like Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne has like three different characters. The first one would be that he shows out in public to those around, and the second one would be when he's in like home with Alfred, and the third one would be the Batman character. I think he does a good job pursuing all of them. Speaking of Alfred, I thought Alfred was pretty good in this movie. It was like a really good dynamic between them two, and hearing them conversate, it was nicely done, like flowed nicely. I thought Wonder Woman in this movie was pretty good. She kicked ass, and I can't wait to see her in the Justice League and in her own standalone movie that's coming out next year. Another thing that I liked about this movie would be Superman's struggle. If you guys have seen the trailers, you've seen that the whole world is having this big controversy on Superman because of what happened in Man of Steel, that they think he's dangerous enough to kill us all. Then some of them are seeing him like a god, and some of them believe he's good, but some of them just want him out of here. And seeing him go through that, like the whole half of the world wanting you gone, and feeling all that hate and everything, it's nicely done. In the inner battle between him, Batman's reasoning to hating Superman was done pretty nicely. We can understand as to why he hates Batman, or not Batman, Superman. Last thing that I liked about this movie is the casting. Like I said, you got Ben Affleck, you got Henry Cavill as Superman, you got Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, you got Jeremy Irons as Alfred. Above all those, the two that I just wouldn't really like would be Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, and in a stretch, the actor, I don't know her name, for Lois Lane. Okay, so now that I talked about the good, I'll talk about the bad. This whole movie, it just feels kind of messy, to be honest. Throughout this whole movie, you start to feel kind of weird because its scene transitions and everything just feel out of place. Like, you'll have one scene, it'll be on a subject that you feel invested in, and then next it'll move over to another scene that's like completely irrelevant, and you'll have to get established into that, and then it'll jump over to something else, and then something else, and it feels weird. And I get it, they have a lot to cram into this movie, but if it's so much, try a little harder to flow it through, because it felt like if we were watching like Robot Chicken, like random clips of different things and like kind of random stuff. But as the movie progressed, it got better and it started like transitioning better, the scenes, I should say. Lois Lane, I didn't really like her in this movie. I felt like her character didn't really have a place in this movie. Um, I felt like they just tried so hard to make her like as an important character and relevant to the story, but in the end, like she becomes just like another damsel in distress, and it just gets annoying. We need a powerful female character, which Wonder Woman fills in that gap big time. I didn't like Lex Luthor in this movie. I felt like he was just weird, and I guess everybody's trying to give it a break. They're like, oh, he's supposed to be that way, but in the comics, Lex Luthor is not supposed to be like weird and quirky and psychotic and like just OCD, anxiety killing weird guy. Just, it was weird, and it just felt out of place from the rest of the characters that were all serious and gritty. and this guy is supposed to be the comic relief, but it didn't work for me. Another complaint that I have about this movie, specifically for the character of Batman, would be that Batman kills in this movie. Now, I wouldn't really, be complaining so much if they would have like a explanation to this, because everybody knows Batman doesn't kill. And I can understand, Zack Snyder is trying to do a different persona of the Batman, or maybe there is some reasoning to him killing now, but they never really touch it in the movie. It's just like, oh, he kills now. I guess I could go with it. I'm gonna mention two things that may perhaps spoil the movie. If you've seen the trailer and if you've heard any news about the movie, then you should be fine, because they show these things pretty much in the trailer, and the director already talked about these things like at interviews and stuff. But if you have not seen all the trailers, if you haven't seen that certain trailer, and when I say certain trailer, those of you that have seen it know what I'm talking about, but those of you that haven't, then I'll make like a little air bubble right here to let you know to skip forward to time when I'm done talking about that subject. Okay? Done. Okay, so I didn't like Doomsday in this movie. I felt like he was just a plot device for the heroes to team up together just to, shake hands on it and defeat the big villain. And I get it, everybody knew they were eventually going to make up Batman and Superman, because as they have to make the Justice League movie in the future and everything. But for someone like Doomsday, a big supervillain character, it was just such a waste of a supervillain. Like, they could have just had some weird mutated monster instead of Doomsday, and that would have been fine. But because it was Doomsday, I just felt like it was a waste of a supervillain. And it felt kind of shoehorned in, just like Venom in Spider-Man 3. Other thing that I didn't really like, which is also a minor spoiler, not really, because a lot of people knew about it. The title says Batman v Superman. So you have Batman and Superman. So it's already about them clashing and everything. But the other title, Dawn of Justice, that's not there for nothing. That lets you know it's a bit of a setup to the Justice League. And hinting out, you already know you have Wonder Woman in this movie, but you also have a few cameos, which I'm not going to tell you who, but because of that, like, it was kind of done poorly, and that also goes in with the dream sequences in this movie that you've seen in the trailers. If you've paid attention close enough, there are dream sequences and there are cameos from the other Justice League members, but it felt like out of place. It felt like just a big setup for the next movie. Very similar to The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but this movie, because it is overall better, entertaining wise, visually and everything, I have to give it the higher rating that I would. But because of the setup, the way it was done, the way they showed these other characters in, it just felt like, back to what I was saying about that certain trailer that pretty much spoils part of the movie, or most of it pretty much. That's what I'm gonna say. That trailer honestly spoils the bigger plot points of this movie. If you've seen that trailer, unfortunately for you, you've pretty much seen the whole movie in like 2 minutes. And I saw it too, and I was afraid that that was gonna happen, and it did happen, unfortunately. But yes, there are a few other things, few other scenes, few other plot points or whatever that come throughout the movie, and it did work for me. But if you think about it hard enough after you go watch the movie, you could agree by saying that, yeah, that trailer gave away too much. Pretty much this movie is like style over substance. That's what people call it. Now, would I say this is a bad movie? No, I don't think it's a bad movie. Everybody's bashing onto this thing because it's not what they expected, pretty much. I would say that I am, to an extent, disappointed. I was hoping better because it's Batman v Superman. Obviously, the hype level is like way up there. And so because of all this stuff, because of the big mess of the plot and like just the characters, a few of them like Lex Luthor, I have to give it a lower rating than what I normally would. But it does have redeeming parts. The visuals, the fighting, the characters, everything. It's just those things weigh it down quite a bit, but it's not to the point where I think it's a bad movie. It's good and it's entertaining, and I recommend you guys to go see it, but it's not bad. You hear me, Rotten Tomatoes? I don't know why everybody's hating on it, but that's their opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and just like mine, that's why I'm encouraging you guys to go see it for yourselves. but I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I don't know what I just did there, but yeah. So alright guys, that's my review to Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and let me know what you thought about the movie and or review down in the comments below. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.